Welcome back to the Appalachian Creative Podcast. You're seeing a whole new setup here. We're in a new studio. We've got a new co-host, or I would say just a promoted co-host.
Heck yeah.
Sitting here with Carson. My name's Jerry, and you're listening to the Appalachian Creative Podcast. Podcast created by creators for creators, and we are based out of West Virginia. Carson, you were kind of absent the last episode that we shot.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about where you've been?
Yeah. So, we kind of spoke a little bit before on our last episode about me shipping off. And so, so I shipped off to Air Force basic training in San Antonio, Texas.
So what was it like to be at war?
It was the chair force. It wasn't too bad. The weather was... It was pretty hot, so, that was pretty terrible there on that part. It was more mental, though, than anything, though, I feel like.
Now, you mentioned, that San Antonio heat, I'm sure they do that for a reason, because...
Yeah, they control the weather, don't they?
Well, that, and you guys are going to be, kind of all over the world. You never know what conditions you're going to be in, and so you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, speaking of weather, right after I graduated, it all flooded, so,
Oh, that is right. So, you weren't far from that.
No.
In
fact, the president was there because of it.
Did he fly into that base that you guys were at? And then
Lackland, Texas. Air Force Base. Yeah.
Did you get to meet him?
No.
Oh, man, Donnie boy.
Cool. Yeah.
That'd have been a cool one to meet.
Yeah, it would have been.
You could have compared hand sizes.
Yeah. For sure.
So, since we last met, it's been 5-6 months now. I think we got together in April. And now we're running up on October, so we've had a pretty busy summer. Just to tell you a little bit about what I've been up to, I've been doing the comedy. I've been kind of poking around. I joined a group of improv players, and we've been cutting up all over the city, mainly St. Albans. We perform out of the Alban Arts Academy there, and we were having a really good time with it. There's 10, 12 of us, and we meet weekly and kind of workshop and play around, and we've performed a couple times since then. We just performed a couple weeks ago to a pretty well sold-out crowd, and, it was a really, really good time. We've got quite a few shows planned moving forward. We've got a couple themed holiday shows, and we're just trying to see what the community will allow us to get by with, if I'm being honest. We really want to push the limits in terms of what people consider comedy in West Virginia. Yep. I know we kind of get a little bit one-track minded in the state, and if you're not Jeff Foxworthy or Larry the Cable Guy, you kind of have to take the back seat there, and so. Which is interesting because most of my jokes are centered around Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever had improv? It's all just off the dome. Have you ever just had one of the moments where it's like you think it's gonna land and it just doesn't?
So that's actually the interesting thing about improv. You don't try to be funny. The whole and because whenever you try to be funny, your partner is going to do something that's going to completely throw you off. You might have a slam dunk one-liner that's is going to kill, but you have to, one, let your partner work, and your partner has to work to set you up. Doesn't always work. Sometimes you're the one setting up the partner and vice versa. But the biggest thing with improv comedy is just making a choice. And I will say that I probably struggle more in our workshops whenever it's just me and the guys and girls. And, we're trying new things and we're playing new games and we're assuming new characters and all this stuff. That's where I probably struggle the most. But honestly, when I'm on stage, my goal is to not look like an idiot, which is tough because we're being silly, improv comics. And
so with the workshops, you mentioned like new characters, new things. Is this like kind of like a practice or like?
Yeah, I would say it's practice. We call it playing, because we're always playing games, and so there's only like a handful of improv games that you can play, and
so it's mainly just like warm ups and stuff to like kind of like get you,
just keep you firing, getting you used to stuff, and just getting you used to making those decisions quickly because you don't know what you're going to do. And I know, like, the people that came to that last show, they're going to think we rehearsed that. There's absolutely no way to rehearse it. I mean, it's all based off of crowd input. We get suggestions from the audience, and we roll with it. It's very much like Whose Line Is It Anyways, but with some kind of silly hillbillies. But we enjoy it. I've really found that just being around other creators has really brought a lot of creativity out of me. And I am probably the least experienced member of the group in terms of stage presence and theater presence, and performing to a crowd is kind of new to me. I hadn't done that since high school, so it's been close to 20 years. And just learning those basics of blocking and playing to the back of the room and enunciating, being a little bit louder than you would be in normal circumstances, because you need that last row to hear your joke just as much as the first row. And so that's probably been the biggest shock to me, because it's not just about firing fast and being funny, but also performing.
Right.
And performing, as you know, is a little bit of a challenge. So,
heck yeah.
But since I started doing improv, I started doing some stand-up comedy. I've done quite a few open mics here lately, just trying to flush out little bits here and there. That is unique in and of itself, because I get to kind of be myself more. It's more rehearsed. I get to practice those bits the timing of it. And so it's more me as opposed to improv. It really is about the group. I couldn't do what I do on stage without the talent of the guys around me or the girls around me. And I'm telling you, there's some really funny people in the area, and you give us all the same prompt and we're all going to do something different. And I think that's extremely unique.
Now, with the improv, is it like a new set every show, or like?
We've experimented with a few different things. So we play out of the Auburn Arts Academy for the most part. That's our home base. That's where we workshop and we practice, and that's where we've had our first couple performances. We want that to be our home, just because they've afforded us the opportunity to rehearse there, and they've opened their doors. And we all feel an inclination to contribute to the community. We all participate in, enjoying the theater, and we want to make sure that place stays open and operational. And so we've all kind of just taken it as a, I don't know what I'd say, but we've just taken it as a responsibility to contribute to that. And so every dollar that we've made at the door so far has went straight to the Auburn Arts Academy. And so that's that's scholarships for kids that can't normally make that, or it's paying the salaries for the choreographers and making sure that you can get talented scripts and writers and all this stuff in one space, because as you found out here recently, productions take a lot. So you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to the last few weeks?
So I mean, just these past few weeks, I mean, I just finally wrapped directing my first film that you guys have already heard about, Riding Ridiculous. So we are now in production, like post-production for that. Man, filming it was actually like perfect weather. Weather couldn't have worked better for us. I mean this week, it's raining and thundering, and it just went to crap. But honestly, like hiccup wise, we really didn't have much. I guess I could have planned better in pre-production, but I guess that's
something that comes with time.
Just something that, experience. This is just my first film as a director.
Well, and that's something else, is like you've kind of mentioned before that you want to be a director. That is your ambition in the film industry. And that's a big part. That's something that you need to find out early, I feel like, especially, whenever I started college, I was about your age, I was still undecided. I did not know what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be until I was able to get my hands dirty and contribute to other things, and was able to carve out a professional niche. And it's nice that you're able to get that experience right now. But what was it like trying to direct, what was it? It was 5 cast members and, the same number of crew members. It was 10 people that you had to kind of direct and coordinate.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't like terrible. I mean, my whole life, I mean, playing sports growing up, I mean, you kind of just like, I mean, I was always a leader on my team, so I was always like having to lead an entire like football team or a baseball team. So it was like, it kind of just like that was just engraved into me. So it just
That
came
leadership
natural.
responsibility.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as that was natural. It's just more of like the what to do, how to adapt to certain problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with experience, just having that experience and knowledge of certain equipment or lighting techniques or sound techniques, you'll just be able to adapt easier and faster and better. So
For sure. I will say, and you guys will get a chance to see it eventually, but I actually got called up to play a pretty big role in this short film after it was all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, I think you did a great job. I felt like you were owning the responsibilities of a director. I felt like you were really pushing the bounds of creativity of what we were able to trying to accomplish there. And I think that when everybody sees it, I think people are going to be impressed.
Yeah.
Especially considering, it was a pretty, I don't know how much you spent putting it together, but I can't imagine you spent a lot of money on it just because, well, you're a little punk kid, so I can't.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a huge budget, but
But you were able to spend efficiently. You were able to, get the players in place that you needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, even a small budget film was probably pretty costly.
like, yeah.
Because, I mean, it takes a
yeah,
lot.
for sure. And on my film, we had a DP, and we actually got him in from Miami. So
Old Jack.
Jack
Did a great job, man.
Okay, he did.
And especially for a guy who drove almost 16 hours to be up here. That is a guy who's committed to his craft. I'd love to get him on the pod sometime and pick his brain. He's from Chicago. He's working down in Miami right now. And we had a chance to go to dinner one of those days that we were shooting and got a chance to pick his brain a little bit and find a little bit more about his ambitions and where he was trying to do. And he kind of started in the same boat as everybody else did. He had a small core group of friends that he worked with and shot with, and over time he kind of outgrew that, those relationships and wanted to grow into more professional work. And he said, I thought it was pretty funny because I've had the same kind of realization whenever I was 25, but he didn't want to deal with the winters anymore. That was his driving force.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to work in Chicago in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
And so he went somewhere where there's year-round good weather. So I'm sure there's, I'm sure there's definitely some good opportunities for him down there in Florida, even with the bad weather that they are, kind of prone to getting. So, but I tell you, so other than, so you've directed a short film, and then you went to war. Yeah. What else have you done since we've kind of split up?
Before I directed Riding Ridiculous, I actually had the opportunity to star in a short film that was actually a war film.
Okay.
Funny enough. It's called Shadows of War. It'll be premiering this December.
Okay.
It was actually a student film for a capstone, so that was really cool.
Oh, so are they going to premiere that at the Marshall?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I've saw some of those capstones. I wasn't able to catch this last semester's, but the year before I was able to catch theirs, and man, they're really impressive with the work that those kids are able to crank out there. And we've had Tisha on the podcast in the past, and she's doing a fantastic, remarkable job down there at Marshall in that film studies program, and she's really preparing people. Were you able to kind of draw, or was you able to kind of watch some of what they were doing and kind of say, oh, I don't like that, or I do like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I already know what I want to do. I want to direct, and then under that, I would say acting. But as an actor, I was watching my director, and every now and then, like, we'd be setting up shots in between, like, takes and stuff. We would just kind of, like, throw out ideas of, like, oh, what if you did this? What if you did this with the lighting, or with the what if you did this camera movement or something? And now, don't get me wrong, the director, he was awesome. He did great. But I think something that's going to limit him is he didn't like to take anybody else's notes. It was, yeah, he wanted to do it his way. And so I feel like that's going to limit you, because think of it as you're only as strong as yourself. And then so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if I'm lifting up a bar, I can only lift so much.
For sure.
But if me and you are both lifting it, we can lift double that, triple that.
Yeah. The Amish say, what, many hands make light work.
Yes. And so I feel like if he was to take some of these notes, he didn't even really have to incorporate them, but just to be able to use them.
Just to hear them.
I feel like the outcome would have made it even better than what it's probably going to turn out to be.
That's interesting. I spoke with another person here lately, and they were doing a local community theater program, and said that they kind of ran into that also, where like the choreographer and the director were very definite in their positions, but they were also kind of conflicted, and they didn't know where they were going. And so like they would be in a spot where they're like, what do we do here? And then they would hear, people would, we could do this, or we could do that, or we could do this. And then they would say, well, first off, all those decisions are going to come from me.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Because like we were like, oh, what if you did it like this? And he's like, I mean, he literally pulled like one of the actors aside, and he was like, you're doing too much, man. Like, step down. Like, I'm the director. There's only one director.
Yeah,
so I mean, yeah, that's true, but like, I don't know.
I feel like that kind of plays into some of the gatekeepiness of the industry.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people this is an industry that egos thrive in, especially like you don't get into an industry where fame and fortune and popularity are the outcomes of being good at it without being vain in some levels. But I do feel like it's a little bit short-sighted to not want contributions from the team.
Yeah.
And it might come from my stance from improv. I couldn't do what I do without suggestions from the audience or without input from my teammates on stage there. And so I very much look forward to collaboration. I think that
was one thing I was glad I was able to do, is I was actually able to connect with a bunch of people. Like, I mean, heck, even I met our sound guy for Riding Ridiculous. I met him through Shadows of War. And so he was now our sound artist.
Right.
So it was really nice just being able to connect with other creatives from around the area, and just to be able to put a film out there from just new people that I've never really met or worked with.
Well, I think that's probably the benefit of indie filmmaking and working on other people's projects, is because, especially early on in your career, because of course we can't always work for free every time, but the networking opportunities, being able to build those relationships, being able to say, man, it's been great working with you. Let's work on something else together. Let's pitch out. Let's see if we can't figure something else out together. And I think there's kind of something to that. And I will say you did a pretty good job of, I won't say taking input from, as a director, but I feel like you did. I felt like you did take input.
Yeah, and
you processed it, and you were able to kind of make it your own without kind of stealing somebody else's idea. Like you very much made it a collaborative space.
For sure. I feel like that also kind of taught me, like, looking at that, like, just the way he didn't take it. I was like, maybe I should be more open to it and just like look at things from a different perspective and see how it turns out.
Well, and I mean, some of my favorite films are comedies, but they are also movies that get made in the moment. They've got a script, and they've went through all the pre-production, and they know where the story's going, but those scenes, in the ins and outs of each scene, and how improv can make and break those scenes. I love Anchorman. Anchorman's one of my favorite movies, and I can't imagine what it was like working with those brilliant comedian type minds and trying to not just direct them, but also like pull from them, but also like rein them in. And so like that's got to be a real challenge when you're working with heavyweights.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't even know.
I think you definitely left room for the actors to own their characters.
Yeah, and that was something I really like. I like that, like, all the actors, they took my feedback and they used it, and then they spun it and made it their own, and then because I feel like that added to the story, and it really brought their characters to life, because it really brought out the personality in each person, and then it really just added like texture to the film.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, and I think you did a good job with simple directions. You weren't, oh, you need to do this and this and this and this. Oh, you're going to do exactly all this stuff. You would, see what we did and then say, let's just pull it back just a little bit, or push it up a little bit, or less gruff, less tough, less this, that, or the other, whatever it was bid. But you didn't try to micromanage. But I don't know that we had the time for that. I think that's part of being an independent, small budget short film. You kind of had to make the concession of, do I micromanage the crap out of these people to where they never want to work with me again? Or do I leave them room to do this, that, and see what happens? Because ultimately you knew what you wanted the film to be. Mm-hmm. You had a vision. Mm-hmm. You worked on that for a little over a year. Yeah. So you had the script and, pre-production. I know we were slated to shoot this.
This was like
was it last fall that we were going to shoot this? And so it was
then weather
right at a year.
Out. Yeah.
It was a really bad thunderstorm that day. So, but I'm kind of glad that happened because
I was able to, at the time, the script, it was done, but it wasn't done.
You didn't have a full story.
Yeah.
You didn't. Well, you also, I don't think at that point, you didn't have the relationships needed. I think that was another thing that you were able to really take advantage of in the last year, in being able to meet Jack and talk to him and get him involved and meet Nate and, build a team out. And that's a challenge.
I was going to have to figure that all out my own. And then, man, I was planning on doing this in 2 days. And so
we shot for 4 days.
Yeah, we shot for 4 days. And we still got to capture a drone shot, but easy work.
Right.
But man, just the thought of if I was to do that in 2 days, and then that would be it. The project would have never been what it is now. So
now, was there any part of the pre-production or production that you thought would be easier and it wound up being harder? Or anything that you thought was going to be really difficult and wound up being really easy?
Something that I thought would be easy was creating a schedule, a shooting schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that'd just be easy. Sure, you just shoot this there, take a break, shoot this there. But it was a lot more difficult because, a lot of things tied in, actors' availability, weather, if your scene took place in daytime, nighttime, evening, morning, and
trying
then
to keep that continuity.
You had to account for weather and how the sun is playing, or if there's rain, or you got to reschedule. And then you have to schedule a meal for your cast, which rookie mistake. I could have done a little bit better on the meals, but there's something to learn from. I would also say I feel like I was trying to make the film perfect before it was even filmed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that limited me a lot, especially time wise. I feel like if I would have, with the knowledge that I have now from it, I feel like I could have done it in probably less than 6 months.
Yeah.
And then still probably would have got around the same outcome. But
well, and again, those are things that are going to come with time. Mm-hmm. And, I always think back to what Chris White said when we were talking with him was a team. You got to have a team of people that you can count on. Yeah. He was like to direct, but he said that the one person that he brought on for, as soon as he got a budget, the first person he would bring on was his casting director. And because he knows that the cast is what kind of puts the program in place.
Right.
And so, I personally like the idea of building out a team. I like the collaborative efforts. I like that filmmaking you can definitely make a film by yourself. You can go out there with your cell phone and a story, and you can make a film. Okay.
Oh, especially nowadays, that new iPhone 17 that just came out. It's shooting freaking 6K, 8K quality, 16-bit.
But I think that the difference between that one-man band shooting a one-person short film or even a feature film is the team, having somebody to grip and gaff, and having a team that's going to run electric for you, having a team of sound engineers and makeup artists and prop masters and a wardrobe and just all those things. Like when you start thinking about how many people it takes to make a good quality film, if one person tried to do all of that to make a really good, you'd be years and years and years at it.
Yeah. That's
and
time,
like you
money.
said, you can nitpick it. You want perfection, and if you get too caught up in that.
Yeah, I consider myself a perfectionist. So it's not helpful when it comes to like that type of stuff. Like,
well, I always said I like to shoot for perfection, and if I get good, if I get great, man, I'm good. But I shoot a little bit different than most people. Most of what I'm shooting, broadcast stuff like this, run and gun. And, whenever I'm at an event, I don't want 2 hours of really good I just need a couple good shots. That's all I'm ever after. If I can put myself in a position to get a couple good shots, man, that's enough for me. But I also lean more into the producer role. I like doing more of the planning, more of the those nitpicky things, being able to just execute and, think about the things that I brought to set that you never even thought about. And, wow, that really was helpful just from a experience standpoint. I think the biggest thing that I brought that was the fire starters. Just being able to light a fire efficiently.
In like seconds.
Yes. But again, those are things that when you are trying to wrangle 10 people, you're trying to coordinate lunches, you're trying to coordinate a schedule, script, you're trying to get gear together, you're trying to do all these things. Things can fall through the cracks. And so, having a quality team, man, really, really stands out. I think Jacob did a great job.
Yeah. He's always doing real strong. Heck, he even, going back to taking advice from other people, he had this idea of doing like a big one take. It wasn't like a super long, like 30-second adolescence type one take, but the one take, it was about a 10-second. 10, 12-ish seconds. And it was really cool. It was like a tracking shot that tracked behind a tree and then it like set up into a standoff scene. So I'm not going to spoil too much because it hasn't released yet, but just being able to take like advice like that is really helpful. Because if I didn't take that advice,
could you imagine if you were just like, Jacob, I definitely appreciate you being here, but would you please just shut up? This is my movie. There's only one director here, Bubby, and his name is Carson Vance. And I don't remember you being my brother, so I don't remember you living in the Vance house. But I think, again, you allowed space for that. And I think most everybody was pretty respectful of that. Like they didn't take advantage of that space that you were affording us.
And it feels kind of awkward sometimes. I'm only 20 years old, and you have other people who are older than you, younger than you. So it's like, and where we're working a young, or a low budget, not everyone on set was being paid. And so working with actors and crew members who aren't being paid is like, there's a fine line of like learning how to work with people. Cause if you're too rude, they can just walk off. They're not being paid. They're taking their time, some of their money, to even just be there and to help the project. And if you're just being rude about it, that's not doing anything. So you just got to learn how to really communicate with your team. And so
I've definitely been in a position where I just volunteered and all of a sudden I'm being demanded to do things. And it's like, well, buddy, I'm kind of just, I kind of am here to be a good guy. I did not know that you were going to just, Gestapo this thing and just be a ruler with an iron fist. But I think that, I think we all had a really good time. I think that, there was, even for, most everybody there to be amateurs, I think there was a level of professionalism on set that was necessary. And I think that really helped lend itself to us being done on time. Because those last 2 days, we were done fairly early. Like we definitely we probably could have done both those scenes in one day, But by just spacing it out, one, we were able to kind of take our time with it, make sure that we did everything right. But I think that it afforded people a little bit of breathing room,
Yeah,
you know.
that and not having the feeling of being rushed, and it keeps the morale up. And so I feel like that's crucial on a low budget film, or any film, in fact. Morale of your team, that's key, because energy rubs off on people. If I show up, director, low energy, not really my attitude, I mean, that rubs off on people, and then your quality is just going to go to the ground. So
I'm a big attitude and effort guy. My day-to-day, my day job, I always say, you know, I show up with two things every morning, and it's a good attitude and it's a good effort. And, you know, those two things can go a long way in terms of, you know, a team, because, man, it takes one bad attitude to just ruin the morale of a team. And one bad actor can just set everything off for a whole day. And then you just hope that the next day you can maybe get back on track. And so I definitely think that there's a place for attitude and effort on a movie set,
for sure,
not just in a day job. So now, other than so you've acted this summer. You went to war this summer. You did. I keep saying he went to war. You went to basic, right?
Yeah,
so,
I went to basic training.
But he learned how to war there.
Yeah,
and so, you know, if you say too many bad words about the pod, no, I'm kidding.
No, but I mean, other than that, we also got to shoot my best friend a music video.
Oh yeah, I forgot we worked on that. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about what I've been up to. I've been doing a lot this summer, not just the comedy stuff. You know, I learned a whole new career, and I've been doing a lot of music videos. I've put together some what I would say pretty solid stuff for some pretty solid local musicians. I'm really finding local to be important to me. The older I get, the more central I get. I want to help other people. I want to, if you've got an ambition, I want to try to help lift you up, because I experienced a lot of that try to keep you down, and man, it sucks, you know. It makes everything so much harder. And so but we were able to work on that music video for your friend, and you know, that should be premiering here soon enough. We're working through, you know, another round of revisions, but I'm excited to see what that'll come out to be. We've got we've been invited to a funk festival in early October, so I'm excited to see how my experience with these music videos. I did a live music video for my friend's band. And we shot, it was 4 different shows over the course of like 8 weeks. And I cut all of that into one music video. And so just being able to, you know, experience live music and being in a venue and working through a crowd with the camera, I'm curious to see how that's going to play into, you know, everything moving forward, especially with the podcast. We've got a lot of things that are on the schedule. You know, we've got this funk festival that we're going to be going to. They've invited us out. They want us to grab not just content, but they want us to, you know, be a voice for the community there. They want us to be a mouthpiece for the efforts that's being put in there. And that's pretty exciting, because West Virginia, I feel like, is just on the verge of a big boom. I think that there's a lot of talented creators in this area.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think that you also have a lot of talented organizers that are ambitious and they want to bring big crowds together. I think that, honestly, in a world post-COVID, people want to get together. They want that sense of community. They want things to go to, and I hate having to go to Columbus for everything. I hate, you know, going to Pittsburgh just to see, you know, it just burns me up that that I can't necessarily see everybody I want to see here in Charleston or Huntington or shoot, even Morgantown.
Yeah, I mean, even that's like 4 hours away. So,
but I think that you're going to see a lot more of those community-based events that highlight local talent. And man, I'm excited about that, just because I know how much people are working. I know how hard people not just want to be famous, but they want to be heard. They want to be,
Yep.
They want people to experience their music. They want them to experience the art that they're creating. I tell you, one of the things I'm most excited about for this Funk Fest are the flow artists. Have you seen any of this?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, they've got flow artists that's going to be spinning fire and all kinds.
Really?
Yeah, it's going. It really is going to be a good time. That's why I said you got to be on a roamer. You got to be ready to.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the bands and the music, but I'm also just excited to. I mean, this is another opportunity to connect with other people from a different area, and so that's just another connection that I could possibly reach out to if we have a big film coming up, or if we just want to podcast, or
you just never know who you're going to talk to, who you're going to meet, and I think that's another reason why that attitude and effort is so big.
Yeah,
you got to bring a good attitude into everything because
you never know who's watching.
You don't, and they say what character is who you are when nobody's watching, and I think you got to be that same character all the time. But I think you do need to kind of go that extra mile when you're invited into an opportunity to network and build out and meet people.
Yeah, and I feel like with relationships, you get what you put into it. So
yeah,
as a friendship, I mean, if you really want like a friendship to just like last, I mean, if you put more effort into it, they're gonna more likely be willing to give you the same amount back.
Yeah, even if it's just respect, just being able to pay them respect and they'll pay you the respect back. But you just never know whenever they might hear, they're in a completely different circle and then they remember, oh man, I met this Carson guy, man, great attitude, good effort. I think he'd be great for this project. You just never know, and I'm a guy that is willing to step in and do anything. So I think that one, it's important to know people and it's important to network, especially in this industry. But
it's crucial.
But especially in a small town, how many times you heard it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
I think that's especially true when you're working in a small community, and they say bad gas travels fast. Nobody wants to get the reputation of the guy who overpromises and underdelivers, or the guy who he's super expensive, he's got a bad attitude, and he's going to drag out a project. Well, those are just I don't want to work with that guy at all, But I would probably stomach a guy that is maybe dragging his feet in the edit, as opposed to a guy who's got a bad attitude. Because if you've got a good attitude and you're doing that, I can maybe stomach that a little bit more.
Because you can always like teach things and learn new things, but you can't really teach attitude. That's just something you got to do.
It's just something you have to be disciplined enough to understand, and you have to be captive enough of those thoughts to execute it.
Right.
I think a lot of people, we get down on ourselves, we get down on our friend group, we get down on just everything. Life's hard, and that kind of stops you from wanting to do anything. But man, when you refocus that energy and you say, man, I had a good day, it's going to be a good evening. You're able to do something with that time, as opposed to just lay there and veg out and just be a sad sack of crap, which, I'm guilty of. We're all guilty of it. You work a long week. You're going to come home on a Friday and you're going to be a little bit, tired or this or that, but you don't have to have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And so, I think that, relationships are important. And with every good relationship comes good communication, and with good communication can come, pretty high deliveries. You can really deliver a high quality product. So,
so what else have you been working on?
What have I been working on? I got a bit about a Pinto, but it's not quite worked out yet. So we'll just save that. Really just been, I've just been excited to get back to the podcast. I really have been. This is something that I really enjoy. I enjoy, again, talking to other creators, seeing what motivates them, seeing what they're up to and what they're working on. We didn't get a chance to really do that this past summer, and man, I got used to that last year, just meeting and talking to people. And I hate that Jacob isn't able to join us moving forward. Jacob, he got too good for us, plain and simple. No, Jacob. We didn't fall out with Jacob or nothing. Jacob just he prioritizes his family, and I don't fault a guy for that. You know, he loves his wife, he loves his kids, and that's something that he wants to pour time into. That he wants to still have time to do films and other projects, and I'm excited about to see what he's going to create. We're actually working on a short film. We've been in pre-production on that.
Spring.
Yeah, so we're going to be shooting this spring. It's a narrative. I've been line producer, so I've been trying to help kind of keep that budget together, trying to help get a good cast put together. I'll be key grip on site, so I'll be working out the electricals and the lighting and making sure that we've got good rigging for everything, and that not only does everything look good, but it's safe. You know, I'm big on safety, and so I'm excited to bring that. But we've got Out Here. It seems like every time Jacob and I talk, the idea grows and grows and grows and grows, and that's exciting. So long as we get enough hands on that project to make it light work. Because
it's gonna be great.
Because if we just keep growing the idea, and it's just mine and his hands on it, eventually we're going to get overwhelmed. So.
Yeah, and I feel like we got a lot of good people on set too. I mean, we got Davis Rohr. DP.
I'm excited to work with Davis. We're going to be bringing Jack back.
Power connections. I mean, heck, I even got one of my my actress.
I
got her a new gig.
Yeah, Autumn was able to impress Jacob on scene, on set, and we were able to write a really good role for her into the film. Try not to do too many spoilers here about the film because we haven't even shot it yet. So, but we've got that going on next spring. So I imagine the podcast will probably go up until then, and then we'll probably take us a little break. But I don't want to take as long a break as we did this last time.
Yeah, for sure.
But shoot, you could go to war.
Yeah,
I mean that's a very real thing, right?
They're wanting to send me to DC for like ice support, in Chicago or anywhere in like big cities that they're trying to clean up. Like, heck, I could go to Seattle, any big city, really.
I mean, I hate to see a military presence in the United States, but man, it seems like we're kind of working that direction, man. Some of those bigger cities, man, they're dangerous.
And with DC, I feel like. Not just it being dangerous and all that, but I feel like because that's our national capital. Yeah. That's where all big leaders fly into, and that's their first impression of this country. And if it looks like crap, I mean, what are they going to be thinking of the U.S.?
Well, we also literally store all of our nation's most valuable items in D.C. You know, every major museum is housed in Washington, D.C., and so like. If they go to burn the Capitol again like they did back then, are they able to save all of those artifacts, all that priceless stuff that's in the Smithsonian and all those things? Because like that history is important to us, especially our American history. And but I don't want to see you go to war. I think we'd much rather see you stateside, producing, making, directing, making movies, acting, and all that good stuff. But that's a very real possibility, and we'll cross that bridge when we need to. But I'm excited to see this dynamic play out. We've known each other, I guess, coming up on 2 years now.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
been a little bit longer than I thought, but I'm excited to see what I can learn from you, what I might be able to teach you. I'd be excited to see who we can talk to. We've already been invited to this funk festival. We've got great big plans to talk to a lot of local musicians. I've talked to a potter that I want to really get into their workshop, and I want to see them make bowls. There's a local artist here in my hometown that makes wooden bowls.
Oh, yeah.
And man, I want to talk to him. I want to see what he's doing in his little workshop back there. That's awesome. I've seen, you can buy his work at the Tamarack, and so it's good. And it's just a local guy, man. He just really loves making stuff, and I can relate a lot to that. And so I'm excited. What about you? What are you looking forward to?
I mean, I'm looking forward to I'm really looking forward to that project that we were just talking about Out Here.
For sure.
I think I'm going to start writing or coming up with ideas for my next film.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to film it for about 2 years, though, mainly just so I can give myself that proper time to really write the script properly, get everything that I want, hire the right people, continue to build out my team, and then really hit it hard because I want each film just get better and better and better. And I also want to experiment with new things, so I want to try to do something different that I haven't done in this past film that I just did. So
Okay.
maybe it's traveling, working with live animals, or who knows.
You ever work with a cat actor?
No.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're terrible. They are. You can't get them to do anything. But like a
Stubborn.
dog actor, those dogs are good. But a cat actor, nah, ain't happening.
Or a donkey.
You know, that would have been interesting to see that happen.
I'd probably just stand there and look at you.
Now, are you thinking you'll lean more into that that Nolan style of practical and presentable, or are you going to be going more into that just out of this world feel? Are you trying to keep your stories more grounded?
See, I want like this more out of the world feel. I want the shots to be, or to look like that's like impossible to film. Like, there's no way you could have done that without this, and we didn't even. I want to try to figure out a way to shoot something that looks impossible to film while it all being very much possible, and that just anyone can film it without using a super high budget or anything like that, crazy actors or anything super outrageous. So I feel like that, and then just the way the overall feel of the film in general. And then I want each film that I film to have like some sort of meaning behind it, whether it's like a world problem or just something,
just a social issue
meaningful to
or
me.
something.
Yeah, and just so that I'm not like, just like a tattoo. I mean, if I was to get a tattoo, I want something with meaning, not just for looks.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to put your name at the front of it,
Yeah,
the end
right.
of it. You know,
Right.
like you have to put your stamp of approval on that project at the end of it. And so there's nothing wrong with wanting to be proud of it and to stand for something. So, you know, and I would say I'm kind of in that same boat, less intention. I just, as a producer type, I just want to help other people accomplish their dreams. I just want to help them finish their projects. And, I just want to, I follow that Zig Ziglar mentality. I don't know if you know who Zig Ziglar is. So Zig Ziglar, he's got a quote: "You can have everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want." And so, you know, that's very much the approach that I take in all of my relationships. I don't really want anything from anybody. I don't want for nothing. I'm very blessed in that sense, but I do want to be helpful. I do want to be at least that in this world and on each project. And so I hope to keep getting invited out to these projects. I hope to keep getting, you know, more and more people in that network, like you mentioned. I do want to ask you, Carson, before we wrap everything up here, what's something that you watched this summer that you were like, wow, that's really good?
Superman. New Superman movie was insane.
So did you watch it in theaters?
Yeah.
See, I really wish I had watched it in theaters. I didn't get a chance to, just being busy, new career and all that stuff. Watched it at the house. Still really enjoyed the film.
Insane.
I really liked the way that
I just like the overall like feel and how it's like you don't really have to dive into his origin story because everyone knows it. So it's just like it lives.
Yes, I think they did a really good job of telling a whole story, but not just telling the story.
Right.
I think I really enjoyed the kind of that James Gunn ecosystem, you know, just seeing and hearing people that you know that he's worked for and other stuff. And, you know, his brother had a very small cameo in it, but Alan Tudyk was in it. Who's the guy who played Yondu? I don't know if you, but he had a voice role in it. Just the fact that he, again, uses those relationships and brings them onto other projects. Man, I love that. It's a good mentality to have. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a big follower for the MCU the last 20 years. It feels like
that new Avengers movie. I feel like that'll be really good.
I'm excited. I'm a big RDJ fan. I like
Yeah.
I like what he was able to accomplish with Iron Man and
Doomsday.
personally. Yeah. Did you watch Fantastic Four?
No, I've heard mixed reviews about it.
So that's what I went and saw in theaters. It was between that and Superman. It was same weekend, and my wife and we decided to go watch the Fantastic Four, and it was all right. I mean, I really enjoyed the premise and the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like they fell short a little bit in story and execution.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard when you're dealing with a big villain like Galactus. Like,
Yeah, that's kinda crazy.
how do you get that on screen? And I think it's something they struggled with in those early Fantastic Four movies.
Yep.
And so I think some of that is just, it's difficult to get from the comic book page onto the big screen.
Yep. And then I will say a film that was kind of a letdown was 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was, they filmed it on iPhone. Like, that's crazy work. I mean, sure, if you rig $100,000 lens to it, but
I was going to say, I mean, it's a little bit more than just an iPhone, but to see that they were even trying that.
Yeah, and I just feel like just certain shots, I mean, it was very unique. It was just weird.
I finally watched Civil War.
Oh, did you like it?
I love that.
That movie is insane. I love it. 824.
What I liked about it, it wasn't the crazy visuals, and they had some good visuals. They had a lot of good shots and things like that. It was the story.
Yeah.
They told a really, really good story, and it all came full circle. And that's something that in Hollywood today, they just fall short.
I feel like 824 has just been killing it with that. I mean, they had The Brutalist. I mean, that won an Oscar.
So haven't seen it?
Yeah, you got to watch that one. The back rooms that they're filming and working on, a 19-year-old is the director for that film. He was the actual guy that actually created the back rooms. So that's just pretty cool.
I saw an article there yesterday or day before about how Hollywood is less Hollywood now. Like, there's just the studios are becoming more vacant, and
it's like a 50% drop right now, and
it's
crazy.
I think some of that is the testament to what people are doing in independent film. I think that and not just the A24s, because they've kind of
hit this new level.
They jumped they went from indie to independent to full blown studio now, and I think that that's probably everyone's goal, is to be able to kind of get to that level from an indie point, but to do it outside of Universal Pictures or to do it outside of MG, like, that's fantastic that they were able to achieve it, but they did it by doing what opposites falling short on.
Yep.
Because Hollywood their storytelling has just become lackluster at best. It seems like it's all the same story, and if they even tell it completely, they don't most of the time. They tell you about 50 minutes of a good story, and then they cut you off, or they wrap it up super fast, and that's just disappointing, because I think most people are willing to put the time in, and if I put 90 minutes in, I'd put 110 minutes in for a full story. Like, what's another 20 minutes if it's the difference between being satisfied and unsatisfied with the product? So. But I'm super excited to see what they keep putting out there.
Yeah, and then there's quite a few films that are coming out here. I mean, I guess coming up soon. I mean, that I'm looking forward to. I mean, you got the new Avatar. You have Dune Part 3 with Timothée Chalamet. That one's.
I'm curious to see how they're going to execute that.
Yeah, that one's going to look really good, I think.
I tell you, the one that we've been kind of talking about the house here. Wicked 2. What are they calling that? The final yes, but the second Wicked installment, man, I'm excited about that.
The Batman Part 2.
Oh, that'll be good.
That will be good. There's this new film. I just saw the trailer for it. The Bride. It's about Frankenstein. And, the monster. And
did you read that book in high school? No. You didn't read Frankenstein in high school? Mary Shelley? No. Wow.
I just realized that Frankenstein is not actually the monster. Frankenstein is the the doctor.
Yeah.
The monster is the monster. It was like, I didn't know that until just recently.
Well, you got to read the book. I'm kind of big on some of those books, especially when it comes to classic literature. Hard to beat something like that, especially from
another one that's coming out is The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be crazy. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Especially the commitment that guy has to a film.
I know he's gonna get a real dragon. Actually, have an egg.
He is breeding a cyclops as we speak.
I mean, he's bringing in a big cast. I mean, he's got Tom Holland. He's got Anne Hathaway. I think he's using, is it Brad Pitt, maybe? I think it's who it is.
That'll be fun.
There's some big people in it, but it's going to be a really good movie, I think.
Well, I think he has done a pretty good job with his last couple of films of being able to temper a lot of big names. I mean, you look at Oppenheimer, and I mean, everyone in that film was not just like a star, but was like A-list, top of the list, like
A+.
Any one of those people could have been a lead, and they were taking minor roles and I think that's incredible.
RDJ, Cillian Murphy,
just for people to step up and say, "Yeah, I want to be a part of this."
Yeah,
and I'd say probably my favorite character in Oppenheimer was Florence Pugh. What did she do in there? So definitely check that out if you haven't. So, well, Carson, I think we've done a pretty good job of catching everybody up. You went to war. You acted in a short film. You shot a short film.
Shot a music video.
I've been doing the comedies. Check us out. Keep us plugged in. Man, if you hear something happening, holler at us. Let us know. We'll come out. We'll help you guys share your community event. Share whatever it is that you guys got going on. We want to get out. We want to talk to other people. We want to share all of the good stuff that's happening in West Virginia, into Ohio, Virginia, Kentucky, even in the Carolinas. Man, we really want to highlight all of the hard work that everybody's doing.
For sure.
Anything else you want to say, Carson?
I'll look forward to seeing y'all next episode.
I think you did a great job. I'm excited to see what the two of us can come up with.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Wow.